Tonight, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and Artemis 2 return to Earth. The fluctuating operation hours continue at Regina's Urgent Care Centre. And preparing to take the next step in revitalizing the yards.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news tonight. The Artemis 2 crew's dramatic re-entry into Earth atmosphere. You're looking at live footage currently being streamed by NASA. This is currently a visualization shot of what is happening right now. The capsule has entered into Earth's atmosphere. They are currently in the 6-minute window where they have no communication with the astronauts, both video or audio. Re-entry. The most dangerous part of this mission, they're traveling faster than 40,000 kilometers per hour when they hit Earth's atmosphere, and the heat shield around that cruise capsule will experience temperatures around 2,700 degrees Celsius. Now, from the beginning of getting to the atmosphere to going into the ocean and splashdown is considered to be happening at about 6:07, so in the next 6 minutes. And when that moment happens, we will go live to NASA's live stream once again. So once again, that'll be in about 6 minutes time. But for now, we come back to the studio here in Regina for some local news. It's becoming a weekly routine for the Saskatchewan Health Authority, announcing a decrease of hours at Regina's Urgent Care Centre, a facility that was supposed to be open 24/7, but won't be for the foreseeable future. Damian Smith has more.
Another weekend, another day of reduced hours for the Regina Urgent Care Centre. Typically open from 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. The hours were cut from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Friday. The third time operation hours have been shortened in the span of a week. The Saskatchewan Health Authority says that the adjustments are due to physician availability and to proactively ensure the availability of services for patients. The centre was intended to be a 24/7 operation, but has failed to do so since the opening in July of 2024.
They can't even keep them open at the reduced hours. And so this is a government that is driving nurses and doctors out of the province. It's very concerning.
The government of Saskatchewan says they are recruiting the next wave of physicians internationally. Minister of Health Jeremy Cockrell said on Wednesday that the United Kingdom and Ireland have been recruitment hotspots.
Where you're going to see investments being made by this government in the future in terms of really targeting, hopefully specific training opportunities for urgent care services so that we can attract new physicians into that space.
Pointing to an Angus Reid Institute poll, the NDP says Saskatchewan residents have the hardest time acquiring a family doctor. The poll shows 22% of people in the province do not have a family doctor, and 41% reported difficulties in acquiring one.
When I first became an MLA, the number that was presented in CIHI data was 200,000 people in the province don't have access to a family doctor. That number seems to have increased to almost 300,000 people, so we seem to be going in the wrong direction.
To combat the shortage of physicians, the government of Saskatchewan invested $17.1 million to the University of Saskatchewan's College of Medicine to add more specialty residency seats and full-time academic physician positions.
There's still more work to do there in terms of really firming up what our contracts look like with the doctors providing coverage at the Urgent Care Centre. That work is underway and will continue over the next couple of months to try and get us to a better spot.
Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan's Information and Privacy Commissioner has ruled that the public has a right to know the outcomes of allegations against a former marshal. The marshal resigned last summer following a misconduct investigation. And as Wayne Mantiga tells us, the government has remained tight-lipped about the situation.
The NDP has been in pursuit of information about the outcome of a misconduct allegation made against a member of the Saskatchewan Marshals Service. An unidentified marshal resigned last summer, and details were never released.
And then when we sought, and the public sought transparency on what happened, what this marshal did, the government refused to provide any information.
Last year, the NDP filed a Freedom of Information request for the investigation files. What it received from the government was 290 blank pages of redacted emails and documents. The opposition appealed to the Information and Privacy Commissioner, who found that the Marshal Service properly applied an exemption allowing for the withholding of some, but not all information. The Commissioner concluded that the public has a right to know and debate the outcome of allegations involving a marshal who is appointed to act in the public trust when allegations arise otherwise.
And they've been essentially stonewalling anybody who's asked any questions about what happened, what the marshal did.
The government and its agencies are not required to follow recommendations made by the Information and Privacy Commissioner. The Saskatchewan Marshal Service says it will review the recommendations and provide a response within 30 days. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
And back to our top story of the return of Artemis 2 to Earth. We now have visual confirmation that the vehicle is making its way down into the Pacific Ocean. There is the capsule right there, the module that contains the 4 astronauts of Artemis 2. Of course, CSA mission specialist Jeremy Hansen, a 50-year-old from Canada, becoming the first Canadian ever to make his way around the moon, followed by Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, and mission specialist Christina Cook, all from the United States. But as this capsule will land into the ocean, it will be a historic moment for space travel, for the Space Agency of Canada, to have Jeremy Hansen return home. And just a reminder that this isn't like the movies. It's not going to land into the ocean and they'll be retrieved seconds after it falls in. It takes a while, so they have to power down several systems inside their module before they leave. So in fact, it is expected that helicopter crews who are there to pick up the astronauts probably won't get them out of the capsule to closer to 7 o'clock or even after 7 o'clock Saskatchewan time. So it will be some time before we get a chance to see Jeremy Hansen, maybe a little wave as he's taken up and set aside. And after that, they are brought onto the helicopters. They are checked medically as well to make sure that they're okay. And once they have been given the okay that they are medically good, they will then fly off to Houston, where they will meet with their families. And obviously, the excitement will continue to overflow. But there is Artemis 2. There is the capsule, the module. Let's just listen to some of the audio that's being provided right now by NASA. Nope, they've decided to be quiet now as we continue to watch it make its descent into the Pacific Ocean. But once again, Artemis 2, that is a visual. Oh, let's hear what they have to say. Just a couple thousand feet, I believe they said, before it hits the Pacific Ocean, 1,000 feet. And we will let this video continue as we wait for the final moments of it to make the official splashdown and return home of 4 heroic astronauts. For those that maybe don't remember, Jeremy Hansen did visit Saskatchewan earlier in this process and was able to meet and speak with students.
Integrity splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth.
For myself, there it is, splashdown for Artemis 2. They will now begin to power down the module, and eventually in the next 40 to 50 minutes, the astronauts will make their way out of that capsule and be rescued by authorities of NASA, and the Navy is out there in the Pacific Ocean as well to retrieve them. But there it is, the historic splashdown, the first time a Canadian astronaut is returned home after making his way around the moon. All right, let's return back to Earth, of course, and here, local Saskatchewan. Now, those astronauts passed many satellites on their way back to Earth, probably a few from Starlink, which provides internet for hard-to-reach areas. And thanks to a new partnership with Starlink, getting a high-speed connection from SaskTel almost anywhere in Saskatchewan is now a reality. Mick Favel explains.
With the help of thousands of small satellites orbiting Earth, Starlink offers a unique high-speed internet service which is now available in Saskatchewan. SaskTel has partnered with Starlink to offer a top-quality internet connection for businesses in rural areas.
A low Earth orbit satellite connection or a satellite broadband connection is designed to be that primary internet connection, and it can deliver the capacity and the speed to provide those consistent experience for Teams calls or managing your online experience.
During the pandemic, Muscogee Soto Nation was able to get access to Starlink. They say it was a way to keep the community together. The nation says jumping from the internet connection they had to Starlink was like night and day, and have been with Starlink ever since.
Bringing SpaceX to Muscogee contributed to the improvement of our quality of life. Our children now are able to connect with their friends online. Our families can watch Netflix and enjoy some quality community time with each other. We didn't have that.
Every home and building on the nation now has the Starlink connection. Leadership say it is a digital age and a Wi-Fi connection should be available to everyone for a number of reasons.
It also made e-health a lot more accessible for many of our people, getting on video call with a pharmacist, whether you needed to refill a prescription. It opened up an avenue for to make a lot of services that were harder for us to access being in a rural area. It made it easier now with that access.
There are about 34,000 farms in Saskatchewan, with many of them being incorporated as businesses. They are able to access Starlink.
It's not just, a big business operating or a small mom and pop shop operating outside of an urban environment. It's our farms, it's our producers all across the province that might benefit from this relationship.
Those who are already using Starlink are able to transfer to SaskTel over the phone. They will also be offering support for any difficulties with the service. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency says a report on the 2025 wildfire season is going to take longer than expected. This week in a media availability, Minister of Community Safety Michael Uyghur says an independent review from MNP was expected to be completed by February, but that it would take some extra time to finish. Uyghur said MNP indicated some additional interviews with fire behavior specialists needed to ensure it was a comprehensive report. Now, today, residents that were impacted by the 2025 wildfire say they're nervous heading into yet another wildfire season.
It's unacceptable. We need as much resources as possible. And that's where the MMP report, we need to know what went wrong last year and how it went wrong. I think most people know what went wrong, but this isn't about pointing fingers and blaming people. It's so it doesn't happen again.
CTV has contacted the provincial government for a response. We'll have more on that at 6 o'clock or later on in late news. It is 6 o'clock, Sabine, and
in case you missed it.
Yeah, we have not heard anything yet. So.
No, yeah.
But you can tell us what we expect for the weather, not just for tonight, but the weekend as well.
Yeah, I've got nothing but good news for you if you like warm temperatures and sunshine, Lee, because that is what's coming our way. Now, southern Saskatchewan already experienced some of that today, where we saw temperatures well above the average for some parts of southern Saskatchewan. For Regina, again, the average is usually hovering around about +9. We warmed up to about 12 degrees late this afternoon, and that's just the beginning. As we head into tomorrow, the temperatures are expected to get even warmer than our daytime high today. And we're going to continue to see sunshine. So similar to what we're seeing on the radar satellite, a little bit of that precipitation in northern Saskatchewan. There is precipitation on the way for us in southern Saskatchewan Saturday night into Sunday morning in the form of rain, and then a little bit more as we head into Sunday night. But the temperatures, at least for the next little bit, are looking like they're going to be very warm, and I'll have details in your forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. Once again, a shot of the Artemis 2, the crew module in the Pacific Ocean on top as they await to shut down systems and eventually be rescued by Navy helicopter personnel. Once again, a successful splashdown for the 4 astronaut crew, including Jeremy Hansen. And it is a historic mission for sure. It's an important step not just for NASA, but Canada's space agency. 3 Americans on board, joined by astronaut Jeremy Hansen, who was the first Canadian to ever travel around the moon. And he has a Saskatchewan connection. Jacob Carr reports.
When you see it from out here, it doesn't change it. It just absolutely reaffirms that. It's almost like seeing living proof of it.
That's Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen earlier this week speaking about his perspective that as humans, our purpose is to find joy in creating solutions together. Hansen is also a colonel with the Royal Canadian Air Force and has a connection with a few current members of the 15-wing Moose Jaw Air Force Base. That includes Lieutenant Colonel Matt Fullerton, who, when he was a flight instructor in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba, designed an informal helicopter training course for Hansen.
It definitely blows me away. I mean, like I said, it was purely by accident that I had that opportunity to be able to do that. And he's such an incredible, humble and professional individual. And he's always looking to interact, and he's still a great ambassador for the Canadian Forces.
Captain Jason Lucian from Humboldt wants to one day follow in the footsteps of Hansen and make his own mark in space.
It's like the engineer's dream, right? I grew up on a farm in Saskatchewan. I had a technical background. I had an engineering degree from the University of Saskatchewan. And, you know, space is just the idea. It's a final frontier.
Lucian has also interacted with Hansen back in 2017 when he made it to the final part of the selection process for the Canadian Space Agency that year.
He was really there to represent the life to you and tell you, you know, this is what you can expect if you are selected. It was also, it was very motivational to meet him as well, because the selection process did take, I think, upwards of 8 months.
As for the splashdown of Hansen and his fellow astronauts, all at 15 Wing will be watching.
We'll all have our own kind of separate venues where we'll be watching that. But yeah, we're all of course hoping and praying everything goes well. I know the minds at NASA have got it all figured out.
Well, after completing a lengthy construction project to renew infrastructure below Dutney Avenue, the city is now taking the next step in the area's revitalization, redeveloping the former CP rail site. Donovan May says more on how businesses on the streets are reacting.
Grant Frew has been peering out the window of Bushwhacker Brew Pub, seeing a vast nothingness for more than 3 decades.
We've heard lots of rumors about what's going to be taking place across the street. Of course, we've been looking at that Dust Bowl for about 35 years now.
But what is currently a giant mound of dirt may soon become a vibrant neighborhood.
With the development across the street, that's just going to inject new energy. I'm really hoping to see a lot of new local independent businesses moving into the area.
So the former site of the CP rail yard has sat vacant since the city purchased the land in 2012. For years, it has been working to redevelop this area, but now that the construction of Dutney Avenue is complete and below ground infrastructure may support development, the city is accepting proposals to transform this 17-acre lot.
That was a big hurdle that was holding back development on the site. Whatever is put forward is actually viable, executable, and so that we don't just have a vision that actually will never come to be. We're really looking at this as something that we want to see get into the ground quickly.
It's a long time coming for the warehouse district.
The sky's the limit. Cities don't get generational opportunities to make an impact on how the city even feels to live in, like this property represents. There's a massive opportunity to level up our city.
And while a project is still more than a year away from having shovels in the ground, Bushwhacker says it needs just one thing.
Somewhere for the customers to park, not just for Bushwhacker. There's a lot of businesses here. If there's going to be more businesses moving in, which I hope, we need parking for the customers.
The city is accepting proposal applications until the end of September, with administration expected to select a qualified RFP next summer. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina. This Sunday will mark 10 years since Michaela Bali's disappearance in Yorkton. She was last seen the afternoon of April 12th at the Yorkton Bus Depot in 2016 on 1st Avenue North. Police confirm she did not board a bus that day. Since Michaela's disappearance, Saskatchewan RCMP has received about
1,000 tips. The Police Historical Case Unit continues to investigate her disappearance, and with the community's help, Michaela's mother has raised $100,000 for her daughter's safe return home. Both the RCMP and the family say it's never too late to step forward with any information about Michaela's whereabouts.
I think a mother's love, it never stops for your child, no matter what the situation may be. And so for me, I don't think I'll ever stop looking for her. And I don't know how you can't stop either.
The family is holding a public vigil for Michaela on Sunday in Yorkton. Still ahead, Liberals converge on Montreal with a majority government on the horizon. And a new bill could prevent thousands of asylum seekers from staying in Canada. The Liberal Party appears poised to form a majority government in the coming days with 3 crucial by-elections on Monday. It comes that we're getting a reaction now from progressive members of the party on the latest Conservative MP to cross the floor. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more.
The last time the Liberals gathered for a policy convention, it was 2023, and the party was on the brink of political disaster. Now the Liberals are on the verge of getting a majority in the House of Commons.
People are happy, which is really good because that's not always been the case.
Delegates say that vibe change is all because of Mark Carney's leadership, but also what they call momentum ahead of 3 crucial by-elections that could push the government up to 174 seats, a 2-seat majority.
I've slept well every night, which is a good thing.
5 floor crossers in just over 5 months helped the Liberals achieve.
I don't know whether to introduce myself as a recovering Conservative or just that I was a Liberal and I didn't know it.
3 of them getting prominent speaking roles today.
I think that was incredible to see. And I think it's only this moment that has gotten all these diverse people together under one umbrella, so I love it.
But while some feel these new Liberals represent cooperation and unity, others are more skeptical.
I'm myself fairly socially liberal, and so that social conservative kind of aspect does make me a bit wary, but I think overall, I'm supportive of Mark Carney and everything like that.
I do personally think that when we do have floor crossers, there should be a by-election happen.
Carney has said his new MPs will be expected to vote along party lines, especially on social issues. Current MPs seem to accept their new colleagues, including the latest MP, Marilyn Gladu, but on one condition.
If you're joining a political party, you should know what you're signing up for. She knows exactly where we stand on things.
We are absolutely a pro-choice party. The Prime Minister said as much yesterday, I believe. And so now she has decided to join this party, and that means that therefore she supports the policies of this party.
Senior Liberals believe the party is on track to get a majority on Monday night. And while there are many conversations about floor crossers, they say if that happens, it won't be before all the votes are counted. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Montreal.
And CTV will have a federal by-election special on Monday, April 13th. Begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, that's 5 p.m. Saskatchewan time. Hosted by Chief News Anchor and Senior Editor Omar Sachedina and Chief Political Correspondent Vasi Kapelos. The special will air live stream on CTV News Channel, ctvnews.ca, Crave, and BNN Bloomberg. Immigration officials have issued warnings to thousands of asylum seekers that their refugee claims may be invalidated under a new federal law. Bill C-12 became law at the end of March and puts a deadline on applications. CTV's Judy Trin reports on why Canada may shut the door on a kidney donor who escaped war in Gaza.
Mohammed Al-Hindi first came to Canada in August 2023 to donate a kidney to his sister Gadir. After saving her life, he returned to Gaza just days before Hamas triggered a war. Al-Hindi was forced to flee with his young family.
You won't like to do all your best just to run.
They survived 6 months in a war zone, then crossed the Rafah border after paying the Egyptians nearly $25,000 in exit fees. After getting special visas for Palestinians with Canadian ties, they settled in London, Ontario.
Strengthening Canada's Immigration System and Borders Act.
When Bill C-12 passed in March, Al-Hindi was notified he may not qualify for asylum.
Because he did not make his refugee claim within the first year of coming to Canada,
he's deemed ineligible to have his claim heard before a decision maker, and he is in limbo.
Under the new law, refugees have to submit a claim within 1 year of landing. Al-Hindi applied 7 months ago, but immigration officials count his arrival date as 25 months earlier when he came for his sister's transplant surgery. The letter states if he's deemed ineligible, he will face removal from Canada. The immigration minister says there are safeguards.
People will not be made to go back to a country where wars and conflicts like that are going on. But there are other processes that are happening.
But those other processes won't allow Al-Hindi to make his case in person. Instead, a border agent will decide based on online documentation. If considered ineligible, Al-Hindi fears losing health benefits, his work permit, and his future.
Not to punish me. It's not logic to get a refusal letter from the government because I were here for a humanitarian act.
There are more than 300,000 refugee applications in the system. The federal government says some of these claims are not legitimate. The new law could remove 30,000 people from the backlog. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
U.S. and Iranian negotiators are preparing for high-level talks in Pakistan tomorrow. The 2-week ceasefire is still shaky as the discussions in Islamabad are expected to focus on reaching a broader deal to stop the fighting permanently. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance will lead the American delegation. He has warned Tehran to negotiate in good faith. Coming up, how a Yorkton grandmother turned her love of storytelling into a popular TikTok profile.
Beautiful day in the Queen City and, well, in most of Saskatchewan, especially in southern Saskatchewan. Clear conditions and the sun is still shining out there as we take a look at current conditions. 12 degrees still and the winds just under 25 kilometers an hour. Had some pretty calm winds throughout the day, and that theme will continue as we head into tomorrow, along with warm temperatures and sunshine. So this is what we've been seeing over the last couple of hours. We did have some of that cloud cover in northern Saskatchewan and the precipitation in the form of some rain. Now, the south will see rain, and that won't be until we get into tomorrow evening. But this is what we're expecting to start your Saturday. We will see more cloud cover rolling in, and there is still some snow expected for northern Saskatchewan. And as we head into Saturday afternoon, that's where we see just the beginning of some pockets of scattered precipitation in the southwest around Swift Current. Now, in terms of how much rainfall we can expect, obviously, we can see on the map there as well. We're not seeing a lot or a large system that's bringing that much snow. Excuse me, I'm still stuck on snow. That much rainfall coming through the area. So probably a millimeter, if that's what we're looking at right now. Now, there's a larger system that you see coming through the southeast. That's a different story. We could see a little bit more heavier rainfall overnight Saturday into Sunday morning, and possibly some storm activity in and around the Estevan area there as well. First thing Sunday morning. But as that system clears out, you can see right behind it in the southwest, there is mixed precipitation arriving Sunday as well. Now, Sunday, we're still expecting above seasonal conditions and temperatures. So most of that, whatever is looking like snow, will be more so wet snow into rain that's coming through the area. And that is basically all we have to worry about. It's just a little bit of that mixed precipitation expected Sunday, but also the rain expected Saturday night into Sunday. You can see even in La Loche tomorrow, still expecting some of that snow coming through, but temperatures right across the board, we're going to see either seasonal, if not warmer than seasonal conditions. Now, I don't want to say that the snow is done for the south, because it's not. But as of right now, just because we're seeing these above seasonal temperatures, 12 degrees in North Battleford, 10 in Saskatoon, 6 and mostly cloudy in Yorkton, that there is a chance, 20 degrees in Maple Creek. That already bumped up. 20 in Maple Creek, 18 in Swift Current and Moose Jaw. And the southeast seeing similar temperatures, 19 for Assiniboia, 18 for Weyburn, and for Estevan. For Regina, Tonight, we're still staying within warmer than seasonal conditions for Regina. Tonight, 0, clear conditions, winds up to 40. So we will see the winds picking up as we head into the overnight. But tomorrow, the expected daytime high is 15 degrees, nothing but sunshine and winds anywhere between 20 to 25 kilometers an hour. And as for what's to come, this is what our next 7 days is looking like. And yes, between now into next Friday, conditions can change. But it's starting to look like we could be getting back into spring/summer-like conditions for the weekend into the beginning of next week. So again, tomorrow 15 and nothing but sunshine. By Sunday, 10 degrees, mainly sunny. The winds are expected to pick up to about 40 kilometers an hour. By Monday, we'll start to see more of the clouds rolling in. So mostly cloudy conditions, 10 degrees there. And by Tuesday, we could see another 15-degree day, mainly sunny. Now, the only thing I want to point out is Sunday night, we are seeing that the low will drop below 0 to -1. So any precipitation that comes through, there is a slight chance we could see that precipitation turn from rain into wet snow. And also Wednesday, mostly cloudy, high winds expected up to about 50 kilometers an hour, but still seeing above average temperatures. 13 degrees is the expected high, but again, dropping below 0 overnight. Wednesday night into Thursdays where we could see some flurries as well. And then by the time we get into Friday, there is a slight chance that we could see more flurries and temperatures getting back down. I don't want to say within seasonal because it's a little cooler than seasonal, but we're still looking at above 0 temperatures right across the board. So that's one thing. And the next couple of days are looking quite warm, Lee.
Yeah, the weekend's a great time to get outside, unless you're like a big golf fan and you're too busy. It's the Masters, Sabine.
Oh, I was like, why wouldn't you be outside golfing?
The Masters.
Right. Masters.
Soon,
okay.
Sabine.
Okay.
Soon. Thank you.
You bet.
An unlikely star is taking social media by storm. A TikTok grandma from Yorkton is proving there's no age limit for becoming an influencer. Regina brings you the story of Grandma Sherry.
From one small kitchen to the entire world, a TikToker from Yorkton is making waves on social media.
I started, and within a few months I was up to 25,000. I went up, and now I'm at 220,000. It just kind of creeped up like that.
She didn't know about TikTok until her granddaughter approached her.
Then one day she said to me, you know, Grandma, can I start you on TikTok and tape all these stories so that someday when you're no longer with us, we can listen to them like the other grandchildren.
First, she posted smudgings, but one day she uploaded a video making bannock.
And people recognized me uptown. They said, are you Grandma Sherry? You're going viral. And I said, oh my goodness. So, well, I didn't even really understand what was going on, but I called my granddaughter and she explained to me.
Grandma Sherry hopes her videos help people focus on the goodness in their lives.
Our ancestors, we know that they struggled, but we're here now. They survived, so we could survive.
Off camera, she lives by the same principle. Years ago, she helped a teenager in trouble, who later became the mayor of Yorkton.
I moved into their basement with their 2 sons, and they took me in for a good period of time until I could kind of get my feet under me.
The mayor says he contributes his success to Grandma Sherry.
She's such a special lady, and what she did for me is something that I know she's done for so many others. Just very caring, very generous, very supportive, non-judgmental.
Grandma Sherry is set to debut her own television cooking show using the language of her ancestors, while continuing to share wholesome cooking videos on TikTok for years to come. Regina, CTV News, Yorkton.
An all-Saskatchewan affair in the second round of the WHL playoffs. We set you up for the Blades and Raiders tonight in PA after the break. In 3 years, the Prince Albert Raiders and Saskatoon Blades will renew their Highway 11 rivalry in the playoffs, with Game 1 of their conference semifinal series set for tonight in Prince Albert.
There, he is back for the Pats, though, and now here's a chance as Braden Coots set on a breakaway.
Raiders won a season series 6 games to 2, including 2 4-0 victories to end the regular season. Prince Albert's Michael Orsolek, up for the WHL Goalie of the Year, continues his strong play in the postseason. He's averaging 1.99 goals against per game. Saskatoon, led by veterans Hunter Lang and Rowan Calvert, who scored that Game 7 winning goal in overtime versus Edmonton earlier this week. Game 1 puck drop set for 7 o'clock at the Art Hauser Center. The Saskatchewan Rush are back at home this weekend with a lot on the line in the final 2 weeks of the National Lacrosse League season. The Rush spent almost all year on the top of the standings, but they now share first place with the Colorado Mammoth and Vancouver Warriors at 11-5. This weekend's matchup between Colorado and Saskatchewan could prove to be a deciding factor in who finishes first. Game time 7 o'clock from the SaskTel Centre in Saskatoon on Saturday. And University of Saskatchewan Huskies quarterback Anton Amarud could be back at the controls for the team's offense next fall. Amarud, who was diagnosed with lymphoma last fall, is now in remission, according to a post from the football team Instagram account, and is beginning his return to the field. A lymphoma is a type of cancer that affects the lymphatic system, which is part of the body's immune system. It could impact lymph nodes, the spleen, and other organs that help fight infections. The fifth-year quarterback left the active roster after Week 5 of the 2025 season. He guided the Huskies to a 4-1 start at that point and was the leading passer in Canada West, earned a 2025 Canada West All-Star nod before stepping away from football to focus on his health. Still ahead, Saskatchewan's Court of Appeal denies another trial for Taylor Kennedy.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow. Some areas still expecting to see cloudier conditions and cooler temperatures, not like the double digits that we've been talking about, or temperatures like Outlook tomorrow expecting 17 is the expected high. A little cooler in Melfort there, mostly cloudy, +4, 8 degrees for Meadow Lake and Spiritwood, nothing but clouds, and 17 also for Kindersley. 10 for Lloydminster, cloudy conditions there, but 10 for Hudson Bay and mostly cloudy, still expecting a little sunshine. Meanwhile, Wynyard, mostly cloudy and 6 degrees there. As we get closer to the southern border, that's where we see those temperatures nearing 20, if not into the 20s, like Maple Creek, 20 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. 19 for Assiniboia, Rockland, East and Cypress, 21 for Coronach, 18 for Leaders, 16 for Carlisle, Rosetown, and 15 degrees for Lumsden, Pilot Butte, Broadview. Kenora, though, still dealing with a little bit of that Arctic air that's going to be coming through, so 5 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud there. If we take a closer look at Vibank, 14 is the expected daytime high there, winds up to 35 kilometers an hour, expecting to see a mix of sun and cloud. Still a little bit of cool wind chill expected, so 14 is the expected high, but the wind chill will be closer to about 12 degrees. Still warmer than average.
The Saskatchewan Court of Appeal has upheld a judge's decision over an impaired driving trial that took too long, effectively ending the case. The appeal court unanimously ruled Taylor Kennedy, the first woman in Saskatchewan charged with THC-impaired driving causing death, was not tried within a reasonable time under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Kennedy was driving in Saskatoon when she struck and killed 9-year-old Bailey Maurice in September of 2021. Her trial ultimately ended in December 2024 when a judge ruled her rights were breached. This happened nearly 30 months after she was charged, far longer than the 18 months that the Supreme Court has laid out as a reasonable time frame. COVID-19 backlogs, late disclosures from lawyers, unavailability, and charter right arguments at the scene of the crash were all reasons for the delays. But the 3-judge panel ruled the trial still significantly exceeded what is allowed under the charter. Saskatchewan's labour market remained strong in March, registering the lowest unemployment rate in Canada. It now sits at 5%, a drop of half a percentage point from February. 5,800 jobs were added during the month, bringing the year-over-year total to 15,000 new positions. Regina has recorded the largest 12-month employment gain of 7,800 jobs, followed by Saskatoon with 5,200.
So we're seeing good growth in hiring and good full-time paying jobs that have been brought here to Saskatchewan, bringing people to Saskatchewan to actually work and earn a good living here where they can pay the mortgage and have money left over as well.
Stats Canada says the average Canadian worker now earns $65,000 per year. That is a 4% increase from 2025. A new art exhibit is on display at the Regina Public Library George Bothwell branch. The 5th annual Ranch Airlo Makes a Mark art showcase highlights art that participants have been working on over the past year. This year's theme is Sacred Animals, which focuses on Indigenous themes and symbolism. The pieces will be on display for the rest of the month and then sold in a silent auction. Organizers say that working on these paintings has helped the students with self-soothing techniques.
Showing that you're putting your energy into something that other people enjoy gives them a reason to do it more. And we use a lot of these techniques, like grounding techniques, where you're following lines and you have to go slow and you have to work in your breathing. And it really seems to work good just for everyone to focus in on what they're doing.
The money raised from the silent auction will go towards buying more art supplies for projects in the future. Let's take a look at your canola street price, down 10 cents to $648.23 per ton, while the futures price is down $4.60 to $717.30 per ton. Amber durum wheat's $278.59 per ton. Red spring wheat's down 87 cents to $267.24 per ton. Feed barley $250.88 per ton. Flax $630.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. Markets, the TSX went up 218 points, while the Dow Jones dropped by 269 points. As for the Canadian dollar, it dropped a little more than 1/10 cent to 72.28 cents U.S. On the commodities front, gold down $17.14. West Texas Intermediate crude down $1.30, while Western Canadian Select crude went up $1.08. And gas in Regina, there was hope it would go down by today, but it still is sitting at $1.75.9 cents per liter.
Thousand jobs were created, the first positive number so far this year. The gains weren't enough to offset the loss of about 109,000 jobs since the start of the year. There was a small gain in manufacturing in March, but U.S. tariffs have been stripping that sector over the last year, with 44,000 total jobs lost. Jobs were gained in personal and repair services and in natural resources. Inflation rose 0.9% from February to March in the U.S., putting the annual inflation rate at 3.3%. Higher gas prices are to blame for most of that increase. Filling up went up more than 20%. YouTube is increasing prices in the U.S. Its premium plan will go from $13.99 a month U.S. to $15.99 a month. The family plan price goes up $4 a month. It is the first time the streaming company has raised prices since 2023. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, children ruin everything. Happy Place, Celebrity Jeopardy, Boston Blue, One Big Bang. And E-Talk, and they've got your local news, national news. All right, let's head back now to the Pacific Ocean, where Artemis 2, of course, splashed down about 50 minutes ago. The hatch is open, and
I'm out already.
We're starting to see them slowly prepare to take one of them out. As they're still working through. We've heard on the broadcast from NASA several times, there's no rush to get them out. They're making it safe to make sure that the module stays as still as possible as you can in the ocean to get these astronauts out. They did their checks before. They turn off the systems.
Ooh,
they checked the outside to make sure there wasn't any hazardous materials or any concerns before they get the astronauts out. But it seems like we're just moments away. Unfortunately, not moments away probably for our newscast. But the astronauts, including Jeremy Hansen, the 50-year-old Canadian who is the first Canadian to fly around the moon, will soon make his way out, get on a boat, and eventually make his way back to land.
It's so cool. It's so cool to see this.
All right. A regular at the Dorval Library in Quebec has earned himself a special membership card.
He knows when to show up. He knows when we close. He knows which doors to go to as well.
His nickname is Muffin, and he stops by every day. While he doesn't go into the stacks, he does love to greet visitors, so much so that his owners let the library staff know when he's on the prowl, and he once even tried to stow away in a librarian's car. Aww.
What does that say about his owners?
Maybe they like to read.
Maybe he did. Have a good weekend, everyone, and welcome back to Earth, Artemis 2.